A couple of days ago, someone actually leaked the set of the Zelda movie and showed off some of the characters, but before we even get into that, it seems like Nintendo immediately took to Twitter right after that leak and just said, hey, here's the characters and here's what's going on, because Nintendo tweeted out, this is Miyamoto. Once again, like Miyamoto's some type of villain that's about to come in and kill us or something. This is Miyamoto. We've officially begun filming the live-action movie adaptation of The Legend of Zelda and the magnificent great outdoors, together with Bo Bragason, who plays Zelda, and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, who plays Link. Then says the filming is progressing smoothly, so I would appreciate it if you could quietly watch over us, whatever that means. The theatrical release is scheduled for May 7th of 2027. Please wait just a little longer. He then gives us 3 images to look at, one of Link and Zelda and one of them separate. So we're gonna dive into all of these, and because there's a lot to talk about, plus some leaked footage of the actual set and the movie being filmed. So yeah, there's a lot to dive into. But before we get started, we are super duper close to 380,000 subscribers. You can make this happen by leaving a like and subscribing to stay up to date on all things Zelda and Nintendo in general. Let's see how many we can get to subscribe to this video alone to help us reach our goal. Thank you, and let's dive in. First off, it looks like Link is based off of his, basic iteration. There's no Breath of the Wild formula here. He has his green tunic, as you can see with his shirt, but also he strikes a very similar resemblance of Twilight Princess's Link. The blue eyes and the roughed, rigid kind of look to him. Now, another main difference is a lot of people are complaining that he's not wearing his hat, and I do believe this is probably just for a shot or for a couple scenes. I am very sure he'll wear his hat, at least at some points in time in the actual movie. But Ben looks absolutely perfect here. I actually have like 0 complaints. I think he fits Link perfectly. Now, Bo's take on Zelda is slightly different, where she's actually fitted in a blue get-up attire. Now, a lot of people immediately, once again, ran to the fact that this could be Breath of the Wild. It's going to be a Breath of the Wild story. No, once again, I don't think this is the case. I think simply they're changing just kind of what the colors mean for Hyrule. I know it's normally always been like pink and purples, but there's always been elements of blue. Even when you look at the Hylian crest and the Hylian shield, there's always elements of blue in there, and I think they're just going with blue this time around to represent the Kingdom of Hyrule, which always just kind of made sense to me, that royal blue. She also has a quiver full of arrows, which isn't anything necessarily new for Princess Zelda, but we've never seen her just walking around with arrows, you know what I mean? It was always like the light bow at the very end of the game or something, but her just walking around with a quiver of arrows is making me wonder, is she going to have a role similar to Princess Peach in the Mario movie, where she's helping Link for a lot of the movie before even getting kidnapped by Ganondorf or something? It's hard to say, but clearly she's not just going to be a damsel in distress, because that would also be boring just to have her kidnapped in a castle for 90% of the movie. She also has some type of blue jewel necklace, and maybe it's a tear. It's Tears of the Kingdom! No, once again, no, I don't think it's anything related to Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, but it could be related to maybe a specific person in the game. Maybe it's her mother's or something, the Queen of Hyrule, and she died and she took over for, her mother. Something along those lines would probably make sense. I mean, I would assume the king is at least still alive. I feel like in most Zelda games, king is alive, queen is dead. This is kind of how they do the things. But yeah, I think something like that would make a lot of sense. Or since it's blue and almost like a tear shape, maybe it's from the Zora or something. It's hard to say. Once again, we're just spitballing here. But honestly, Zelda looks pretty perfect here as well. I have no complaints. Even down to the perfectly pointed ears, everything looks great here. I'm sure Miyamoto is just hunched over everybody. I wonder if Aonuma is involved in this at all as well, but I know Miyamoto is just like making sure everything is pitch perfect. Now here are both of them together. We have Zelda and Link's full outfits revealed here, and Zelda not only with her quiver of arrows, but also with a bow in her hand. Now this is a golden bow, so maybe she can shoot light arrows? Who knows? I mean, it's bow with a bow. Get it? But there's a lot of detail here, including the fact that the front of her boots has the Hylian crest, her belt is patterned with upward and downward facing triangles, the same thing goes for the strap over her chest, and you can't see in this image because it's a little blurry. I've seen some better high-res images where you can actually see the detail pattern on her dress is actually Triforce patterns that run through it. And we can see her hair is tied and braided in a similar way that we've seen from other Princess Zeldas. In fact, her hair is very similar to both Breath of the Wild Zeldas and Ocarina of Times, where they just have that little braid that goes from the front around the back of the head and the hair droops down from the sides and the back. but her entire outfit is still kind of similar to Breath of the Wild's, this time with the dress kind of drooping over the pants area instead of it being more of an adventurous outfit like it is in Breath of the Wild. But I do think it's just referencing certain parts of that outfit instead of it being a Breath of the Wild story. Now, when we look at Link, I know a lot of people brought up that his outfit might be based on the Zonai design, as you can see on the front. I once again don't think this is the case. I even traced and outlined what I think it's going to end up looking like, and I think it's going to be closer, believe it or not, to Breath of the Wild's, where it looks like it's a hilt of the Master Sword coming from his chest plate. So please do not freak out, at least not yet, about this being some type of potential Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom based movie, because I don't think that's happening here. But his outfit has tons of this gold lining symbol imagery all throughout it, and they seem to have given him a cape in this iteration, or some type of cloak that goes on his back and that he can actually throw on top of him, and I'll show you that in the leaked footage. But overall, there's not too much to look at with Link. You know, he has his gloves and his pointed ears, so yeah, he looks like Link. But I also want to point out back to Zelda's bow, because the only light bow equivalent I could find that matched was the Twilight Princess light bow, which was kind of similar with its design. Now, this gets even crazier because apparently on TikTok, Tony Olsen Film was able to find them filming on the actual set and recorded some video of what they were doing. So we actually can kind of get a sneak peek first look, and there's not too much to look at, but there definitely is at least some new information here. For one, Link does have some type of dark green poncho or throwover that he'll use in the film. Maybe he's just kind of like her undercover knight and just kind of cloaks himself a lot in the beginning of the movie. You can also see Princess Zelda here, and she's got herself a little red and brown satchel at her hip. Now, this scene shows off what seems to be a new character. We have this almost Asian woman with long black and gray hair and is dressed very similar to a Sheikah. Yep, I'm very sure that this is actually Impa in this movie. And I believe it's been confirmed that this is Deechin Lockman. Now, if you don't know what she's actually from like my favorite shows ever, like all my favorite stuff. I immediately recognized her from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The 100, one of my favorite shows ever, and of course, the hit series Severance, another amazing television show. But you might also recognize her from a couple big movies, such as Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Jurassic World Dominion. Now, when I say this is literally one of the best castings I've seen for a movie in a long time, I truly mean it. I mean, she literally fits the embodiment of Impa. I literally couldn't unsee it. I mean, she looks so similar to the Skyward Sword version. It's clear that they're going for one with gray hair, which is kind of her normal look. You could pull the one from Hyrule Warriors, or maybe even the original Ocarina of Time, or maybe even Breath of the Wild's Age of Calamity. But either way, she fits this role perfectly, and the weapon in her hand seems to be some type of big cutlass of some sort. Which wouldn't surprise me, because she had an even bigger sword with the giant blade, or maybe even the Naginata, which were both weapons from Hyrule Warriors. But to have both Impa and Link in this scene is kind of rare, because normally Impa is there to protect Zelda, and when she can't, she calls on the help of Link. So to have all three of them in the same area is kind of rare, unless it's a quick scene of Impa taking Zelda to rescue, like in Ocarina of Time and even in Skyward Sword, or if it's just Hyrule Warriors and it's just kind of they're all traveling together still. I also want to note that there seems to be some type of bigger guy with a sword walking to the back of the set. He seems to be dressed similarly to Impa, so maybe he's some type of soldier, warrior, or maybe even a Sheikah member. But we also have horses, and there's 3 different horses in the scene. I believe they belong to each of the members here, Zelda, Link, and Impa. There's an all-black one with a Hylian crest on the side. I would assume this one is probably for Impa. There's then a lighter one with a light blue satchel on the back, which is probably Princess Zelda's. I mean, she even looks like she's petting her and standing right beside the horse right there. And then we can see a darker red one in the back with a white mane. I would assume this one's Link's and is probably going to be Epona, the series staple horse for Link. So yeah, it seems like once again it is going to be kind of a new story, but with elements pulled from different Zelda games. And so far it looks absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to see the villains with Ganondorf potentially, and different races like the Zora, the Goron, maybe even the Rito. You know, it's going to be very exciting, and I can't wait to learn more about this movie. And I don't know if this one has much validity to it, but apparently someone found under the music department under score consultant, we got Koji Kondo. And if you don't know who Koji Kondo is, he is the Nintendo music guy. He makes some of the greatest Mario and Zelda tunes that you've ever heard. So yes, to have him, you know, making sure that the music is actually Zelda music and not stupid other music thrown in there like the Mario movie is just such a great thing to see, and I'm sure we're going to be really locked in with some great music here. What do you think so far with these early peeks and these sneak looks? Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and I hope you all have a blessed day. See ya, guys.